Boyfriend 32M of 2 years wants me 23F to be normal. How do I proceed? So I 23F have been dating my boyfriend 32M for almost 2 years, but there are several issues that are really bothering me. I've never met any of his friends or family. He's never introduced me to anyone important in his life. He's very passionate about politics, race, and social justice, which I don't mind. He's financially successful and travels frequently with friends, but he never invites me along. In March, he went on a month-long trip to Bali and the Philippines with a friend, and that friend's girlfriend joined him later. After he came back, I discovered I had contracted chlamydia. When I told him, he denied cheating and dismissed my feelings, saying it was easily curable and that I was overreacting, even though I'd been sawed by a previous partner. We talked about it, and I gave him the benefit of the doubt. Over the past year, he started telling me what I should eat based on advice from naturopathic doctors and has begun extreme intermittent fasting. He tries to impose these changes on me and gets upset if I don't follow his advice. I've only told him I love him once after 6 months, and he shut me down. I recently moved closer to work, and he helped me move. After settling in, he came over but criticized my apartment, complaining about the cleanliness and the quality of my belongings. He also compared me to serial killers, saying I was weird for having stuffed animals. He claims he has the right to express his feelings and wants a normal girl with a good job. He often makes hurtful comments and accuses me of thinking mean things about him. I'm now seriously considering ending the relationship, but this is my first major relationship outside of high school. I still care about him, but he makes me feel like trash. I struggle with depression and low self-esteem and am unsure about how to proceed. I'd appreciate any advice on what my next steps should be and how to handle the situation. He makes you feel like trash. He cheated on you and gave you a disease. Yes, he cheated on you unless you contracted it from someone else. And you want to know how to proceed? I think the answer is pretty obvious. He needs to go. Find someone who will love and respect you. You're a toy for him. Or the side piece. The fact he won't invite you anywhere or to meet friends, family, you're not a part of his life until he wants something. Get out and move on and don't look back. That behavior is not coming from someone who gives a shit. You are his girlfriend, but he is not your BF. You know he cheated, right? Honey, you're his side piece. Ghost and block him and get full STD testing now and 6 months from now. Let me get this straight. Boyfriend has cheated on you, gave you an STD and never fessed up. Criticizes who you are and implies you're somehow abnormal. Makes you feel like trash. What would you tell a good friend who told you this? Read Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft. The PDF is free. You're dating an emotional abuser who cheats on you and puts your health at risk. He sounds awful. What's the point of being in a relationship if it's not an improvement to your life? Partner 37 male threw me 36 female out home. Now he wants me to forgive and forget. What should I do? So, I will try to keep this short. My partner and I have been together 10 years. We have always had separate living arrangements. We decided to move into his house and I gave mine up. We have lived together 15 months. We have 2 children together. On Sunday, he had been drinking. He pulled me out of bed by my arm and threw me onto the front garden with barely any clothes on and told me to get out. I'd gone home without him from the pub because I was tired and ready for bed, and this had really annoyed him for some unknown reason. He has bruised my arm and I was really distressed. My mom had to come collect me at 1 in the morning crying and half dressed. I've decided not to go back, but he's saying it was a mistake. I should give him another chance. It's not fair on the children, blah blah blah. Should I stick to my guns and go find somewhere else to live? Me and the kids are at my parents', or is this something that will happen again if I let it slide? I think this is a horrible thing to do to someone you love, and I feel really betrayed. He's saying that if I go, he won't see the kids as much and that it will affect them, etc. I'm just looking for some other viewpoints. Do I stay or do I go? We lived separately as he was in the military. If people aren't aware, you can be posted all over the country, world. If you are married, you can live together on camp, but I had my home so I stayed there for the kids to be settled. He left the military, so we moved into his home, which he was renting out to tenants while he was away. The kids were at my sister's at the time it happened. Update. I'm really surprised by how many people replied. Thank you all for your kind words, it's really helped. I'm confused why some people think my situation is so unusual, but I think they might not understand living arrangements when someone is in the military. However, that aside, I will not be going back. I'm stopping with my parents, and they are going to help me out with finding a home, etc. I have spoken to my now ex-partner, and he will see the kids with his mom until he goes to see someone professional. As you all pointed out, this is extreme behavior and he hasn't done this before, but once is enough. Thank you to those who shared what happened to them. It made me realize that leaving is best for myself and my children. You know what will affect the kids more than seeing their father less than they have been? Their father physically throwing their mother out of the house just because he's a little upset. Their mother wearing bruises that their father put there. And believe me, if he gets away with it this time, there will be more and harsher incidents in the future. You and the kids are already out and away from him. Stay gone. Set up a parenting plan and child support, and start dealing with him on a business level as the father of your children instead of as your partner. Yes, it could affect the kids, but positively. If he acts like this when he's drunk, he can further escalate. You need to protect your kids and yourself. He's abusive. And he's manipulating you by using the children against you. He's a monster. Cut all ties. Get whatever is yours. And file for child support. I'd also suggest getting a children's therapist to help the children process things as you go through the separation. Especially since he's surely going to keep weaponizing the children against you. Don't go back. Get a lawyer. My boyfriend did that to me once, threw me outside crying in the middle of the night, with only a sheet around me after an argument. And it was cold to boot. I got out as soon as I could and never looked back. You should do the same. Do you want that kind of a person with your kids? This abuse will only escalate. Why does my boyfriend, M30, keep telling me he's bought me, F28, presents I never receive? I don't really care about the gifts. It's the lying that is confusing me. He asked me if he could stay a different day as he's bought these gifts and he thought it would be cute to give them me when they come. This was 2 weeks ago and I still haven't received them, and we've stayed with each other multiple times since. He cancelled plans twice in one day and the next day told me he'd ordered me flowers. I was so excited as I have never received flowers in my life from a male. I waited in all day for them and they never appeared. Yet I have baked him a cake, bought him presents, paid for the cinema, bought us Lego to do together, but I am on minimum wage and he earns a lot more than me. If I say I'm going to do something, I follow through. I'm fed up with hinting very openly that I just want some flowers. I adore him. He's so sweet and lovely. I'm just worried I am infatuated and missing a massive red flag. How is he sweet and lovely when the things he's doing aren't sweet and lovely? Genuinely confusing info here. Of course it's a red flag. Stop buying him things. It seems as though he thinks this is all a joke and doesn't care if your feelings get hurt. Don't be so gullible with him. He's already proven he's a manipulative liar. Call him out. He's making a complete joke of you. Tell him you hope he didn't pay too much for the flowers because they never arrived. He's not sweet and lovely. He's pretending to be sweet and lovely, along with pretending to buy you gifts. My take on this is that gifts aren't absolutely necessary and relationships beyond special occasions. However, honesty is essential. He sounds like a compulsive liar. Has he told you any stories about himself that don't ring true? Unfit but claims to be in the Marines? Not very bright but claims to have a ton of qualifications? Has a high-paying job but can't pay even his own share for dates? So, he's not actually sweet. He's just trying to make sure you think he is. Really, he's a lying asshole who isn't worth a single second more of your time. Find a man who actually buys you flowers. This is a weirdo. Ask him, avoid games or guessing. Oh, honey, you are not a teenager, are you? You should know how this works. At the start of a relationship, people will try to show you the best version of themselves. He's already a compulsive liar. And that's most likely just the little tip of a huge iceberg. My 30M girlfriend, 30F, of 7 years cheated on me. Twice. How do I move forward? About 2 months ago I found out that my girlfriend of 7 years was sending flirty text messages and talking broadly about sex with a guy she had met at a music festival. They flirted back and forth for a few days and even had plans to meet up later that week. Finding the texts was so surreal. like I had slipped into a bad dream and just needed to wake myself up.
She was never this type of person. The one thing I knew about her, above all else, was that she was loyal. As soon as I found the texts, I confronted her. She cried and admitted she crossed a line while also arguing that some of the texts weren't actually flirty, they were just jokes. She swore that she would have never done anything physical with him. She was just seeking attention that she felt she lacked from our relationship. I initially broke up with her, but unfortunately we had to continue living together for nearly 3 weeks until our lease was up.
During that time, she proposed taking a break rather than breaking up.
She told me that her long-term goal was to be with me,
but that right now she needed to on her own and that she didn't want to call things off for good. I told her that the only way I'd be comfortable with a break is if we both agreed not to see other people and used the time to reflect on ourselves and the 7 years we've spent together.
I was terrified to trust her again, but she agreed and I did. 3 days ago we met up to call off the break because of the toll it was taking on my mental health.
During that meet-up, my distrust got the best of me and I found a chance to look through her phone. It took no more than 15 seconds to discover texts with a new guy, joking about the sex they had a few days prior.
She fucked him.
After everything she did to me, she got into bed with another man, when she had promised to be faithful to me, and she gave him all of herself.
I truly don't have words to express the pain I felt in that moment, the pain I still feel. Everything I had ever known about this person was suddenly a lie. In an instant she was no longer the beautiful, kind, caring, and sweet girl I had spent the last 7 years with. She was an evil, disgustingly selfish, distorted version of that person.
A complete stranger. It took an unimaginable amount of trust to place my heart back into her hands after the first incident.
So many people around me told me to walk away. But she was the love of my life, my best friend, my partner, my everything. So I trusted her. When I confronted her about the texts, she broke down crying, saying that she was drunk and it just happened. That the sex meant nothing to her and that she was so sorry. She said she loved me more than anything in life. I fell to my hands and knees sobbing, completely overcome by the weight of it all, and asked her to leave. I'm still in the wake of that night. I haven't been able to think of anything other than what she did.
I constantly picture her on top of him, letting him into the most intimate parts of herself with no concern for the promise she made me or the 7 years we spent together.
She told me she loved me, but how could that possibly be true? The worst part is that I still love her. Despite everything that's happened, I know deep down she's good. I realize how unbelievable that sounds given everything that's happened. She's just so lost right now.
She's self-destructing and she's numb to every bit of it.
I can't sleep, I can't eat, I'm a complete and total mess. All the joy feels like it's been sucked out of the world. I'm hurting on a level one never knew possible.
If anyone has recommendations on how to navigate these feelings, how to heal, I'd greatly appreciate reading them.
Thank you. You heal by breaking up. The pain and misery is not avoidable.
You just zombie through it. She doesn't truly value you as a partner or a person. Don't believe the tears.
She said it was a drunken mistake, yet she still texted him afterwards and was flirtatiously talking to the guy.
That means she has no respect for you.
You were too soft on her, that's why she did it. She couldn't even wait 3 days to F some guy. Move on. Update me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Don't fall for the same shit and expect a different result. Tell her to hit the road.
There are 4 billion other women on the planet. I'm sure that there are plenty that are better than someone who would cheat on you and disrespect you. The worst part is that I still love her. You love the idea of her.
You had an image of her as loyal. You've now learned that was your perception, probably a trait she worked hard to convince you of despite it not being true.
In time you will be able to accept the actual reality of her, not the person on a pedestal you are currently in love with. She ran the gamut of classic manipulation, implying it was much less than it seems, blaming you for perceived lack of attention. These are textbook manipulation tactics. If your lease is up, then just move out. There's no point to taking a break. She's already taken a break and lined up your replacement.
That's exactly who she's going to go bang whether you break up or take a break. Break up with her and get a therapist to find your sense of self-respect. I know deep down she's good.
No, she's not.
Good people don't do this. Break up, go no contact. She won't ever stop cheating, because she doesn't really love you.